the CW booth, in my opinion, is potentially the best booth in all of NASCAR right now. I think Amazon does the best coverage, but I think there is also an argument booth versus booth, Prime versus CW. But I might have to give the edge to CW when it comes to the booth itself because Adam Alexander, he has stepped up mightily. He wasn't the best commentator when he first became a commentator a couple years ago with Fox, and the Xfinity series at the time wasn't necessarily the strongest commentator at that point. He's improved so freaking much. He's learned a lot more about the sport. He's a lot better at the play-by-play than he once was. And then Jamie Mack and Parker Kligerman. I've talked a bunch about Jamie Mack. I think Jamie Mack is a genius. I think he's a funnier and younger version of Larry McReynolds. When Larry McReynolds was in the booth for Fox, he reminds me a lot of Larry when Larry Mack was in the booth years ago. Reminds me a lot of that. I think Jamie Mack is very well spoken and just super smart. And then Parker Kligerman, he's also very smart as well. And he just seems to really be able to have great chemistry with pretty much anybody. Parker Kligerman just overall just seems like a great guy, and that he has great chemistry with literally anybody he works with. He jumps around from NBC to CW, so he works for multiple companies. Same thing with Jamie Mack. He jumps around as well. But Parker Kligerman seems to have insane chemistry with pretty much anybody he works with. But at the top of the list of the most chemistry he has is with Jamie McMurray. Like, these two are ripping on each other half the race, but at the same time having it relate to the race. They're geeking each other out. I'm laughing watching them. And it was overall just entertaining. At the same time, it wasn't just slop. It wasn't just a bunch of jokes and nothing that had to do with the sport. The jokes would have to do something with the sport. They kept on topic with the race. I got no notes. I got no negative notes for CW this week. I think they did perfect. I think they're amazing in the booth. And I want to get the boys' thoughts on this. I guess I'll start with Tyler on this one. How did you feel about the CW booth?
Man, the CW booth is absolutely killing it. They're like the booth to hear right now. Right now, I'll be honest. Right now on Sundays, I mute the TV and I'm listening to PRN. So
Damn dang
I
it.
don't know about you guys.
It's not a
I
bad
can't
take.
I can't listen to it. Can't listen to it. So on Saturdays, man, I love it. Jamie is up there killing it. Jamie is he is absolutely everything we have hoped for in the booth. I'm happy with everything they're doing. There's nothing up there that I would change. Like, their chemistry is perfect. They run off each other perfectly. That was the most exciting announcement of a win we've seen in years. So, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, that's one thing I really liked about the CW booth too is Jamie Mack and Parker Kligerman can rip back and forth and make jokes and stuff, but they also know when to shut the hell up and let Adam Alexander make a call. And Adam Alexander called the shit out of that last lap. That's one of the best calls I have heard on the last lap of a race in a long time. And it was an O'Reilly Series race on the CW at Atlanta. This wasn't the Daytona 500. By the way, that Daytona 500 last lap call, Mike Joy actually did a pretty decent job. I was more thinking about the Truck Series call in my head. I think Mike Joy actually did a decent job doing that. But I would agree when it compares to Sunday with Fox. I think Harvick brings a lot to it. I think he's gotten a lot better. I think he's really smart and has brought a lot to it. Clint Boyer, I think there's moments where I really enjoy listening to Clint because Clint's hilarious. Clint is always going to be hilarious, but sometimes Clint Boyer gets a little bit too much off topic. He kind of distracts the viewers. He kind of talks when he's not supposed to talk sometimes. And Mike Joy, it's hit and miss. Mike Joy sometimes has his fastball, sometimes he's just throwing the ball into the dirt. It just really depends. He's definitely not as good as he once was, but he still has his moments here and there. Cory, how did you feel about the CW booth and their performance so far through two races?
I think we need to start it off by saying comparing Saturday and Sunday, a lot has to do with the vehicle, the car. And
That's true.
Sunday's car is just not as entertaining as Saturday's car. And and we can nitpick the booth. I think a lot of what comes down to the CW being so good is that the chemistry is there and the excitement is there. You can hear the excitement in Jamie Mack's voice. You can hear the excitement in Adam Alexander's voice, and you can hear the excitement especially in Parker Kligerman's voice. And I think that's what gets you entertained. When you're listening to the broadcast and they sound like they're falling asleep, or they sound like they don't know what's going on, or they just sound like, where's this camera pointing at right now? Like, it makes you get confused and lose interest, versus like the CW and on that Saturday race was entertaining the entire time. Like, in that last lap, Adam Alexander crushed it, and Parker Kligerman crushed it. Jamie Mack crushed it. I remember when they wrecked, when Austin Hill and Ross Chastain hit each other, they all were like, "Oh no!" Like, they were excited. They didn't know what was going to happen. And I don't know if you heard it. You heard Parker Kligerman going, "Creed's in the lead!" Like, they're like excited because they see what's happening. And then Adam Alexander just nailed the rest of that lap, and it was the cherry on top of a great race. A great broadcast booth adds so much to the race that most people don't understand.
Yeah, it really does, and that's one thing I always commend. And Tyler, cover your ears here because I'm going to give credit to Formula One here. That's one thing I'll give a lot of credit to Formula One for. Is the racing as entertaining as NASCAR? In my opinion, no, it's not even close. It's not even a debate. NASCAR is much more entertaining than Formula One. But if I was blind or wasn't watching the race and I was just listening to the commentators, I would think there's more going on in the Formula One race than the NASCAR race in usual scenarios. They have great commentators over there. Same thing with the IndyCar series. I could say the same thing about the IndyCar series. They make it more entertaining. And I understand why Tyler listens to PRN, or if you listen to MRN, or you listen to any of these radio stations that do the race, because they're a lot more descriptive. They're a lot more excited usually. And the CW just did a great job. I think CW just did a phenomenal job. Fox, when it comes to both the Cup Series and the Truck Series, I think they have made a step up as an overall production this year. But when it comes to the booth itself, I haven't seen much improvement. I think Mike Joy has started this year a little bit better than he did last year. Boyer is about the same. And I think Harvick's getting better all the time. I really do think Harvick is getting better all the time, and he's almost being held back by that booth he's in. And I don't need to talk about the Truck Series booth because that booth is completely awful and abysmal, in my opinion. No offense, Jamie Little. Jamie Little was perfect on pit lane after the race, by the way. Michael Jordan loves her. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. How did you feel about the CW booth so far to start the 2026 season?